Right, okay, so hopefully you have watched my last video, which was the three different ways of doing Feeling Good, and this is the sort of the Musey type version. But it should, you know, it's a good guitar arrangement, so it should. Well, I'm going to play it as just on a solo guitar and a lady singing it, so that it should be a fairly decent guitar arrangement. So we went through. Let's just recap there. So we went through in the standard tuning. The easiest way of playing it, the very, very basic way, is just to use root chords. Feeling good. Okay, that's the easy way of doing it. The next step is to just play A minor, but with different different bass notes. Okay. If we just remind ourselves what happens on the record. There's that high-pitched. It's the top part of the chord that's repeating. So if you do that with your fingers, that's one bit, and then just do the bass with the other bit. Okay, with me so far, hopefully. Then we did so I'm going to now, so that was in A minor, so because it's easier to play in A minor, but the record's actually in G minor, which it should be. And that's just, by the way, what I'm doing there is harmonics. So everyone should know this little trick about the harmonics. The harmonic way of tuning. Now, I think I've gone through that before in another video, so I'm going to keep that on. You know, I'm going to go through it again here. Except to add that normally it's obviously each string is in a normal tuning, but if you want to tune drop D with harmonics, do the 5th fret on the bottom string and the 12th fret on the D, and that's the same. If it's out, listen. Okay. Oops. Tune it until it stops going wah 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 wah. Nice little tip that. Right, so this is supposed to be how I am going to be playing this live. It's not exactly copying the record, although obviously you want to try and get it as close as you can. You also want to make it sort of. You want to be taking some shortcuts that the audience won't notice. I think that's probably the best way of doing it. So the first shortcut the audience won't notice is on the record. It's this chord, this G minor here, and I'm going to do. See the difference there? And the reason for why is it's just a lot more straightforward to do the bass line over that, because that just stays there. Instead of blooming. See, every time I do that, the first time I do that, every time I always make a mistake, right? With this version, it's easy. So you've just got the top. So if you imagine you're doing a G bar chord, the top 3 strings are just a bar over the 3rd fret. So when you play it in isolation, that just sounds the same as what's on the record. You think, oh, that's right. It's not technically, because it should be. It's a subtle difference, and nobody in the audience is ever going to know the difference unless they're an actual guitarist or a musician. But it means that you can do the bass line really easily going down in the G string. So. looks good, doesn't it? I don't think there's any mistakes in there. So you can see how it makes it easy. Now, actually, I probably would, just to contradict myself, I would probably need to use a because the girl singer I'm playing with, she wants to sing it in A, so I probably actually would need a capo on there to be able to do it this way. But that's by the by. It doesn't really matter if you use a capo, you can move it up and down. It's the fingerings that are important. Okay, so I'll just do that. So. And then, so after you, so let's, so. I'm feeling good. So yeah. So then, when you get to the second verse, all hell breaks loose on the recording, and you have to try and if you're just playing that on a single guitar, you need to try and somehow simulate that, right? So you just basically do what I just did there. You just instead of use the bottom string, and this is why we've detuned it to D, because you can start at G, and get all those notes down on that bottom string. See what I mean? Otherwise, you'd be having to halfway through the riff, it would kind of go up an octave, which is, you lose that nice chunky low end. So yeah, and so I'm doing a different rhythm then, because instead of the emphasis being on the rhythm's coming from the bass line, so I just do a little stab on the top. So you just play. So then I'm doing it with the. So I've got, So I'm stopping round for the first. It's all fingers, and then the plectrum comes out. I'm still doing the chord. The top part of the chord is always this G minor triplet here. Okay, even when you're doing. I haven't actually mentioned the other chords. But I might go through that in a second. So even when you're going, it's just with different bass lines. It's really clever because the chords are amazing when you actually work out what they are, what the changing bass line implies. They're really, really. Cool jazzy chords, but it's dead simple to play because you're just playing different, like that's C9 basically. This is augmented D. It's like an augmented D just sus4, I think. Like something like that. B flat 6. That's some weird A sus4 7 thing. C7. So that is how I play it. So the first verse is the quiet. Second verse you go. The third verse it's like it's just bass line, just like this. And just do a little tap, so you bring it right down. Do the tap instead of the chord. Sad, isn't it, that? Goosebumps from your own playing. But anyway, so that is... There's nobody that can convince me that that isn't cool, using looper for that purpose, and that is rhythm and lead. I've heard it said, oh, the most boring thing you can do is use looper for rhythm and lead. Now, there are some interesting things you can do with loopers for textures and things where it's not as obvious what you're doing. But you know, sometimes you just want to rock out, you know? And that's what that does. Hey! Okay, so that's how I'm going to play it. So you've got, well, I've gone through it all now. I think that's basically it. Quiet first verse, big second verse. Then they do like the jazz. And then that builds into the big chorus. And then you're looping, then you're recording that on the looper, unbeknownst to the audience. And then you do a solo over the top, and then whatever you want to do after that, however you want to finish it. And you're going to finish it, so the one thing you do have to do is finish on a nice cool chord. So if you remember our D13 from the beginning, I would be tempted to bring that down to the G, which is going to break my head. So if that is, so it's going to go here. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Oh, I think. It's a 9th, 13th, anything like that. Just look them up. You know, I had to look up that third. When it's a G13, another piano music on the music I've got for this. I can't really know what that is. So you just have to kind of look at a chord shape, and then just add extra bits. So the chord shape that I've looked up was basically that. But I knew it was a D. I also knew it was a major, so you can put the D in, you put the major third in, put the rest of the chord in, and I know that is a 6th in the D, so it's another altered note. Cool, there we are. So hopefully, I always say this in the videos, don't I? Hopefully that so wherever you're starting from, hopefully that has given you something more than what you knew beforehand. Hopefully it wasn't a complete waste of time. I know if you're just a beginner, some of that will have been a bit complicated, but then again, I don't know who's watching this video, so I'm trying to cover absolute beginner, moderate beginner, sort of intermediate, and then even like if different guitarists have got different approaches. So I like looking at guitarists who are, you know, starting out. They might just have some little techniques that, you know, I've not come across before. So I think everyone can learn something from, you know, from everybody else, if you know what I mean. So hopefully that's been useful. That's feeling good, and I'm feeling good, and I hope you are too. Yeah, see you next time. Thanks for watching.